ICP licenses, cloud AI, and digital human infrastructure in Korea. South Korea's regulatory infrastructure for AI avatars, broadcasting, and real-time digital human services is shaped by an evolving and multi-institutional framework. While the country does not issue an ICP license in the same way as China, it enforces relevant compliance measures through the Korea Communications Commission, KCC, Ministry of Science and ICT, MSIT, and Personal Information Protection Commission, PIPC. Broadcasters of AI-generated content, including avatars, must register with the KCC if their platforms meet thresholds for reach or revenue. Traditional broadcasting licenses are necessary for linear audiovisual distribution, and additional compliance applies if the content is streamed live or pre-recorded. Content generated by AI is increasingly subject to proposed disclosure requirements to ensure transparency, while ethical standards are being drafted to curb potential harms such as deepfakes or misinformation. The PIP's enforcement of the Personal Information Protection Act, PIPA, obligates all public-facing services to ensure lawful collection and handling of user data, particularly for personalization or interaction purposes. The legal recognition of AI-generated works remains unsettled, with current intellectual property protections covering only creations that reflect human expression, although debates on expanding coverage to AI outputs are ongoing. Legal infrastructure governing cloud-based AI in Korea is similarly structured to support innovation while enforcing accountability. The Act on the Development of Cloud Computing and Protection of its Users is the country's primary statute guiding cloud adoption. It is regularly updated through government-issued master plans and mandates compliance with existing privacy and information security laws, such as PIPA. With the AI Basic Act taking effect in January 2026, Korea will implement risk-based governance of AI systems. Developers must conduct risk assessments, disclose AI usage, and ensure human oversight for high-impact systems, which could include AI avatars used in public communication or media. The law's extraterritorial clause extends to foreign providers, further tightening accountability. To support real-time AI inference, the government and private sector are expanding AI data centers, including efforts by SK Telecom and government initiatives to secure 10,000 GPUs for national computing capacity. Edge computing is gaining policy support for its ability to enable low latency, location-specific performance needed by avatars operating in real-time environments, such as live chats or streaming services. Korean telecommunications and media regulations are adapting to accommodate digital human scalability. The Metaverse Promotion Act, passed in 2024, mandates a 3-year national strategy for metaverse growth, infrastructure, and professional training. Ethical guidelines developed by MSIT offer a framework for behavior and development within virtual environments. Though non-binding, they reflect the government's expectations for developers and users, focusing on principles like autonomy, privacy, and inclusion. The KCC continues to modernize its interpretation of the Telecommunications Business Act and Broadcasting Act to regulate digital content delivery on emerging platforms. Additionally, the Information and Communications Network Act, ICNA, and Cyber Defamation Act extend regulatory oversight to social media platforms, with a focus on combating misinformation and harmful content involving synthetic figures. A pivotal 2025 court ruling granted avatars legal standing as proxies for their human operators, marking a regulatory milestone that enhances the legal foundation for avatar deployment across platforms. National strategies, such as the Expanded Virtual World Initiative, are targeting 2026 as the benchmark year for Korea's metaverse leadership, backed by public funding and talent cultivation programs. Companies planning to deploy AI avatars or virtual humans in Korea face compliance obligations under the AI Basic Act, PIPA, and sector-specific media laws. The AI Basic Act categorizes AI systems by risk level, enforcing stricter requirements on systems impacting safety, public interest, or rights. Service providers must ensure transparency, user consent, AI explainability, and local legal representation. Meanwhile, PIPA governs all personal data used in avatar interactions, mandating informed consent, data minimization, and respect for user rights. Content dissemination platforms must register with the KCC or comply with broadcasting regulations if operating at media scale, while the Korea Communications Standards Commission oversees ethical standards and harmful content prevention. Although South Korea's ethical guidelines are not enforceable law, the government recommends that developers align with them through tools like the AI Ethics Self-Checklist. Failure to comply with the AI Basic Act may result in administrative fines, and PIP holds enforcement authority for privacy violations. Oversight of AI avatars and digital content is divided among MSIT, KCC, and PIP. MSIT is responsible for national policy direction, including the AI Basic Act and AI infrastructure projects like the National AI Computing Center. It also leads cultural integration efforts under programs like Culture Korea 2035. KCC manages content regulation, platform conduct, and broadcasting compliance, ensuring that AI-generated content aligns with national standards. PIP enforces data privacy and collaborates with global regulators to harmonize Korean law with international norms. Together, these institutions form a cooperative system balancing innovation with privacy, fairness, and ethical safeguards. Cloud providers in South Korea, including Naver Cloud, KT Cloud, NHN Cloud, and AWS Korea, are investing heavily in the infrastructure needed for real-time AI inference. Naver Cloud's Hyperclover XThink model, tailored for the Korean language, is supported by large-scale data centers and domestic AI chip development. KT Cloud's partnership with Microsoft targets over $1.8 billion in AI investment, including the creation of a Korean language model and integration of Intel's accelerators. NHN Cloud's Gwangju data center offers GPU-based AI as a service infrastructure using NVIDIA H100 chips. AWS Korea, in partnership with SK Group, is building the country's largest AI data center in Ulsan, housing 60,000 GPUs, and deploying Trainium and Inferentia chips for scalable AI services. These investments collectively enable virtual humans to operate in real time across metaverse platforms, streaming environments, and mobile interfaces. Comparatively, South Korea's structured and ethics-driven regulatory model differs from Japan's innovation-first approach and China's sovereignty-focused control model. While Japan fosters AI and metaverse development through deregulation and guidance by its digital agency, it lacks overarching AI legislation. China, by contrast, imposes strict content control and data localization under the Personal Information Protection Law and Data Security Law, creating significant barriers for digital human scalability across borders. South Korea sits between these extremes, offering clear rules, ethical frameworks, and cross-border conditions like local representation for foreign providers. To enable multimodal interaction technologies critical to live virtual performance, Korea is building a policy ecosystem that includes computing infrastructure, AI law, cultural support, and industrial partnerships. The government's AI infrastructure policy includes the creation of a national AI computing center with 10,000 GPUs and a $1.4 trillion AI semiconductor fund. The AI Basic Act encourages responsible development and human oversight. Culture Korea 2035 links AI with cultural policy to foster new forms of artistic and public engagement. The K-Humanoid Alliance exemplifies research collaboration across academia and industry, aiming to build real-time humanoid interaction systems. Datasets like AllCarves support audio-visual training at scale, while partnerships such as SM Entertainment and Cased bridge content creation with metaverse AI research. Virtual idol projects such as Mave and Eternity demonstrate applied innovation in multimodal AI-driven performance. Finally, South Korea has taken steps to manage the ethical and governance challenges of avatar commercialization. Ethical principles established by MSIT emphasize identity authenticity, safety, and sustainability. Legal precedents, including court recognition of avatar defamation, strengthen digital persona protections. The National Guidelines for AI Ethics and the forthcoming AI Basic Act jointly guide lawful, fair, and transparent use of AI in public-facing avatars. Furthermore, South Korea has criminalized the misuse of synthetic media, including non-consensual deepfakes, ensuring a protective framework for the growing digital human ecosystem. Recent pilot programs illustrate the country's ambitions. The Metaverse Seoul project provides civic services via avatars, with city-backed funding through 2026. MISIT's pan-government strategy under the Digital New Deal supports metaverse infrastructure, a metaverse fund for SMEs, and talent development. The Metaverse Academy aims to train 40,000 professionals, while international showcases such as the K-Metaverse Pavilion promote exports. These coordinated investments and policies confirm South Korea's strategic commitment to building a scalable, ethical, and technologically advanced digital human infrastructure.